it's like we're trying to talk all smart like we know about women.
It's a script that's definitely written by people that, have never even spoken to a girl before.
Yo, conceived as one, split into two. Gonna talk so much shit till the air goes blue. After we're through, you're gonna wish you were monozygotic too. Just a couple Nimpods up to no good. Couple of Nimpods up to no good. See what we're doing there? It's Nimrods. But it's a podcast with Nimpods.
Welcome to Nimpods. What are we at? This is Nimpods 20? 2-0.
I started a special Nimpods just yesterday, right? And I think I said I was 20, but I'm like, I don't know if this will even be 20 or this will even be finished. I got to page 5 on our epic script that we wrote back in 2001.
Yeah, I thought we decided not to do that.
Well, you decided not to do it, but I thought it would be still funny. It was funny, but it was really hard.
God damn. Did you voices and stuff?
Well, sort of, but it's like, what are we going to do? They all sound the same. So that was kind of like the ironic twist, is that I just read them the same.
God.
Because they all, I seriously got to page 4. Page 4, and I seriously I stopped rolling. But there is some funny tidbits, not in necessarily the podcast, but like on the script, like James's notes on it.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's just like I couldn't agree with these more. But like thinking about it now is actually they're pretty like what's the term, like the dissing of it is like, I would say kind of harsh in a weird way, but like, completely justified. Like, without a doubt, completely justified. Like, I think he's pulling punches actually still on some of them. It's like, but like, the dialogue really, really fake. We need to work on it. Characters sound like stupid high stoners. It's like just my favorite line. I want that on a shirt. And
well,
it's like written.
The problem with that script is, it's a lot of it, but it's just like a complete, like, it's a terrible Clerks ripoff.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting into, which would be kind of funny if we kind of just like patch together like a podcast where like we read the script eventually, like I'll read it or whatever, like because you're not be able to read it, but like just throw in these tidbits, like little tidbits on it, but like I just think it's kind of funny because it's kind of like it's totally like a time and place, like it's like the characters are in it are like 19, 20 years old, so it's like that's like us. That was the point.
Yeah.
We wrote like, and it's like these people were like, these characters are like us in a way, but like it's kind of like distilled into this like, we have to make it sound like Clerks, which is kind of funny because it's like you look at like Kevin Smith and stuff and why he made Clerks and stuff, and he just wanted them like conversations he had with his buddies he wanted in a movie because he saw Slacker and thought, hey, this counts, right?
Yeah. Where
we kind of thought the same idea. Let's just have it about buddies. But the thing is, like, these characters are all like made up versions of ourselves. They're not like people who are us. You know what I mean? Like they're people who it distilled through the Kevin Smith / Clerks filter. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd even throw like a little Tarantino filter in there too. So it's like super watered down. You know what I mean? Like it's like versions of us, like in a almost like what we want to talk about, but like as characters in a movie. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's parts here where like we're talking about like what's the difference between like a buddy. This is like cringeworthy. I mean, this script should have been called cringe, but like. We're talking about like what a buddy and what is it? A buddy or a buddy? Like a buddy or a friend or something? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But it's like it's distilled through the Tarantino, Kevin Smith like dialogue filter where it's like we're trying to talk all smart like we know about women. But like seriously, at this time we've like I think, well, you've never had a girlfriend by this point. I don't think I had. Or I guess I had. Like, I mean, we're very little ill experienced.
Well, yeah, this is
super experienced now, but like
this is a script it's a script that's definitely written by people that have never even spoken to a girl before. So
or spoken. It's like, yeah, but then it's like we're talking about like, you know, things that like we think would be cool to people here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I mean, we started this podcast really odd, like kind of like nebulous, like we're talking about a script that we wrote, and I figured it out. It was like sort of summer 2001.
Okay.
Because based around the people the people that are credited on the story is also Richard Dodge and Steve Phillips. We saw Steve maybe like 4 times in our life. Like I haven't seen that guy in. I think we actually finished the script before the last time we saw him. Or sorry, after the last time we saw him.
Honestly, I wouldn't even know what he looks like.
No, me neither.
Like I don't see him on Facebook or anything, or I haven't really looked for him.
No, but Rich, obviously we've seen like he's around.
Yeah,
town,
Rich,
like still somebody we.
It is
we
a very small, weird kind of like not weird, but it's funny how it works. How like these guys, for a small amount of time, like a couple months, we were at their place like every day, and we were kind of bullshitting about movies and stuff, and obviously at this time, Clerks and stuff was just a very huge influence on us, obviously by this garbage script. So we decided to shoot this. Well, we watched that movie Bar None, and I think actually Steve brought over that Bar None movie, and it was like black and white. Super
Clerks. I mean, that one was like a couple years after Clerks, I think.
It was actually. I actually found that the creator on, I think he's fairly local, either Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bar None was shot in Vancouver.
Yeah, but for some reason, I want to say that he's like affiliated with Nanaimo in some way.
Even that close.
Mark somebody.
Oh, I have to look that up actually, because I remember like
I seriously
hating the movie.
No. I'll have to watch it again. But Bar None was this movie that was, you could see was heavily influenced by Clerks and trying to be one of those I guess what would you call sort of those critical darling movies, like the
black and white kind of people talking,
that early 90s to like that sort of like that Hail Mary shot to get the Miramax deal, like one of those movies. I don't think what the deal came out of this movie, but they obviously got some kind of distribution because we watched the movie on an actual real DVD and stuff, like
probably in 2001.
Yeah, in 2001 or whatever it was. And
do you want this really weird tangent about the script?
So anyway, we were influenced to do this after like hanging out with these guys, and we wrote this garbage script, and it was actually, I remember finishing it and writing first draft on it because it was a first draft, obviously a first draft.
Yeah.
And that was sort of like we kind of dubbed the movie First Draft.
Yeah, because we didn't really have a title.
Because the script is about like, in general, a summation of it is like 3 buddies, kind of like 3 losers, stupid high stoners.
The dialogue again. It's kind of poignant that James actually wrote that, because like we were not stoners. Like we were trying to be what we assumed people wanted to see.
This is like, actually, this script is a huge indicator, and something that still is prevalent in our lives. Well, I've noticed too. Is this thing that we battle with a lot is just sort of an identity. It's very strange. Like, I guess our entire lives have been dominated with the fact that we're twins, and that has been our identity. But other than that, it's very, I've like, we've for the longest time for as long as we've known, we've been creators and describe ourselves as artists and stuff. But other than that, the identity in exactly what kind of creators we are, like we've been into film for a very long time. Like 2001, we were into making films and stuff, and really caught the bug around probably 2000. But what my point is that still paddling this with our films, but more about, and it's taken us a while, but just making content that we actually would like to see and for us. This first draft movie was, again, so it was like these three losers had in their 20s, mid-20s, 20-somethings, and they decide to make this movie. But we kind of threw all this stuff in, like they also made comics. They made some kind of comics subplot, but like, do they make an adaptation of their comic? And it's like, that's not referenced. They actually decide to make this zombie movie, zombie versus Vikings movie. This is what the buddies in the script try to do, and it's like this porridge almost of just like it's got a potpourri of everything in. I think of what there are some things in there that I could say that we actually generally like comic books and filmmaking, but it's actually in the script, and it's got this really weird non-identity to it, and
it's just
again,
kind of throwing,
this
a lot of the
script
dialogue
is getting way too much talk about it already. This script, we've talked about doing it on the podcast, like as almost like a radio play thing. It is so garbage. Like, I read the first page of it a couple weeks ago. Jay found this old script, dug it out, and I had almost forgotten about it. And it's so bad. It's not like so bad it's good. It's so bad that I refuse to do it, and I still stand by that. I refuse to. We've already talked.
Could you imagine if we actually just went and shot it? We should just get a third person and just shoot it. Literally shoot it in an hour.
No, it's we've already talked about. This call says it's 13 minutes and a half. We've already talked about it for 13 minutes. It's way more than it deserves. So we should really bury this. We can bring it up now and then, but I stand by burying this bullshit.
But you're talking about, I don't know. I like the creation. I like the content around something that's actually kind of like a big sore. Hello?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like something that's really the content. What I'm saying is that it's talking about it and laughing about it is something that's I think is more worthy of it than the actual thing. Do you know what I mean? Talking about how not to do stuff. How, you were mentioning how there's a comic book. I think his name's Jack Stone for some reason. Some hilarious reason his name's Jack Stone. And it's a comic that...
Well, they're stupid high stoners. They're stupid high stoners.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it is? But no, they talk about this comic, the whole movie. The first thing they talk about is Jack Stone. Or not necessarily that,
it's
but a comic.
Within its own world, it's so confusing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
If that's all it was... that would be fine, but it's just
stupid high stoners though. For stupid high stoners, they really create a lot of stuff. The guy has he goes to a comic convention. They got girlfriends. It's almost everything we want, we wanted to be but then not.
But that's the thing. It wasn't.
No, that's the thing.
That's the funny thing too. It's even in our wildest dreams,
we want to be.
But in the wildest dreams, so we wrote the script. It was sort of versions of ourselves. They're still. It's we never wanted to be stupid high stoners. You know what I mean? And we there's so much in it that's just not. It just doesn't. I hate to say it, but it doesn't feel true to the brand. It's such. I'm so glad it exists in script form and not an actual thing that we can watch. People can watch. That would be even worse.
Yeah, I kind of disagree though. I don't know. I look at it a different way. I think this is completely on brand.
Well, it's sort of that.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird time. The timing of it is actually interesting. I was gonna say, is why I remember it was 2001 and kind of the end of summer is right when we sort of finished it. September 11th happened. I don't know if you remember this.
Very similar time,
And why I remember is this is a girl called me, a girl I knew,
Yeah.
On September 11th.
Yeah.
I remember I was laying down on the couch at Dad's and watching the September 11th stuff happening, and then talking to her, and I'm like, because she was going to be in it or something. It was like discussed.
Who was it?
It was Beth. Do you remember Beth?
Okay, yeah.
It's so weird because I haven't seen her in years, and we were just bullshitting, and then I'm like, oh yeah, we finished the script. It's like it's ready to go. Like we just need to get a camera and stuff. Because I remember we didn't even have a camera at this time, and that's why I made this. Actually predates Zombie Wars. Zombie Wars, our high 8 epic feature that we shot for years, and then again never finished. But I think, like, I was just thinking about Zombie Wars recently, and that's so on brand. Like I somewhere recently, like within the last year or two, I captured a lot of this high 8 stuff, and I'd love to just like kind of talk about some stuff we did, and then just put some of the footage up. It'd be sweet, but I'll have to find that hard drive again, or just copy them again. I don't know. It got into a hard drive, and then the hard drive disappeared. But that would be funny. But yeah, this predates that, so it's like predates anything we've ever shot, which is like kind of crazy.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. It's actually, I think it's probably like officially probably the first script we did. Although we did write that really like even worse than this, that
we had that
we had that
40-page gangster movie.
Yeah, 40-page gangster movie. See, again, like very like what's the term, like, you know, like a bit of a, you know, very heavily influenced by, like, you know, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, trying to be gangsters, where it's like, yeah, we totally know how to be gangsters.
It's like this thing where you like being influenced by movies and other media and stuff is not wrong, but I think it's because we were so raw and so I guess like young that it sort of seeped in more of like anyway, a roundabout ways, just more like ripoffs. They turn into, and I guess maybe that's just the way that you process these things, where you're like, oh, that's you know, that's cool. You pick out something that's cool, and you're like, then you don't know how in a classy way to kind of homage it instead of just like ripping it off.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like, I think it has a lot to do with like characters and stuff. Like, you know, when you start out, or I don't know if kids start out this way now, but like, you know,
kids are smarter now.
Well, no, just the way they process like content is like a lot different. Like, you know, we grew up in a time with like obviously no YouTube and no videos online and shit like that, where it's like you kind of watch a movie and it's like, you know, it's a bit of a pedestal. Movies, like, you know, creating like a movie or even a video was quite a feat. And then it was like, so you saw these people make these movies, and it's like, oh yeah, like, oh, that, like, you know, say Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool movie. That's something that like totally we could just do on our own. You know, it's just like people running around with guns and with money and coke and drugs and like getting beat up by like big thugs. Yeah.
Oh, right. So you're
like you that's what's the cool part of it. But really, like, when you look back at all these movies, like Clerks and everything, it's all about, it's not about like cool dialogue, cool guns and stuff. It all comes down to character. Like the characters are what actually sort of like makes it cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the superficial parts is what you think by emulating you're gonna duplicate.
Yeah, especially when I find that,
but you make out like a crappy facsimile of the thing you're emulating.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're taking the cream off the top, but you don't realize there's a lot of other ingredients in the soup.
Yeah, and then also stuff that's like kind of like hard to, like, if you know, and especially when you're younger, like you don't have the experience of stuff, right? Like, you know, after for like this script here is like, we're freaking 19 years old. Like we've like, you know, we've been out of high school for probably a year, or maybe even 2, and and you know, we really didn't have a lot of life experience. Like, this is like, you know, this is before we really even started working or anything. So it's like we didn't even have like a work experience. Like, you can even see, like, in the guys in the movie, like, the script, like, none of them actually have jobs. Like, one supposedly, like, lives off, like, his comic book thing, even though it says at the start. Oh, no, I think one guy's oh, you know what? No, this is based around, because Rich Dodge is, like, I met him working at Russell's Farm. That was, like, for my first, like, kind of legit job, where it wasn't, like, a nephew, you know, like, not working for, say, like, Mike. Not saying that Mike's not a legit job, but like one where it was like I had to apply to it with people I didn't know.
Not like a family friend.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like, you know, obviously getting a little bit of experience. And that's why I think one of the guys works as like a produce guy. It was like we work produce.
Oh, really? I don't remember that, but I tried to... I unsuccessfully tried to shove this script away.
Yeah. Well, I think what, like, one of the other characters, like the little side characters, works there. You know, the not stupid high stoner. Anyway, yeah. Let's. Anyway, it's interesting. I love looking back at stuff that's like, I don't know. I really like looking back at stuff that's really bad. I don't know what it is, but it's like,
I don't know. I like looking forward, especially when I know.
I just think of like I like progress. I like progress. I like when people show, like, not saying that like we're at this like high point of anything, but like I like when people kind of show things that like aren't really that good.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of we're not curing cancer or anything, but like, you know, it does take a bit of sucking up your pride to show people stuff that's garbage. It's hard enough to show people stuff that is actually okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on a completely different tangent, shitty news about Gord Downie.
Oh, Canadian icon.
I love Gordi. It's interesting because Wrong People actually has a couple homages to Gord Downie.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if it's actually in the bar scene, but I wrote up on there's a like sort of a chalkboard menu above the menu or above the bar.
Yeah,
and I got
that's actually really cool.
I got Katie, my our production designer, to write up their
$1.50 for a highball. Is that one? Or
I gotta sing it. I gotta sing it.
It.
No, I gotta sing it to remember the.
To remember.
Yeah. Anyway, $1.50 for a beer, and then also the bar is Gord's Bar, and that was a reference to Gord Downie. So yeah, there's some tragically hip, and Gord Downie and Wrong People, and there's a little bit of hockey. So there you go.
It's kind of cool. I really liked. I actually had I was just looking at the movie today, just like looking at stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, Gord's Bar. Like I didn't even like. It's funny because I think it was in the script as Gord's Bar. Like it was like it's ingrained. It wasn't just something we just threw up on a like an After Effects shot.
Yeah. And
then we also have like the phone, like Thule's phone comes up as Gord's Bar. Like clearly they've been there before. Yeah, I like that shit. I like stuff. And then
it's $2.50 for a highball, $1.50 for a beer. So I got Katie to
it's in a couple of shots.
I'm not sure how clear it is.
It's in a couple of shots. It's like but it's really quite small. You wouldn't know what it said until if you said it like until now like.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's interesting that I interesting to me at least, but the fact that like I don't do that a lot where like reference like other things like in our stuff. Like I keep that to a very, very small minimum. So not that like, I mean, who am I? But I really shy away from doing that kind of stuff because I like to kind of keep our stuff our own. But I mean, that's how important Gord Downie is, to me at least. I don't know. I just it's really sad. Was 53 years old. I mean, we knew this was going to happen this day. Obviously, was it last summer? I guess he was diagnosed with the brain cancer.
Yeah, somebody said it was like it's been a year since May or something.
Yeah,
but
it's rough.
Yeah, no, I thought the Gord Downie, like the whole situation was really, I don't know, quite sweet. Like just the whole, like
it was amazing. The whole
the
really
fact that
whole,
he like Canada like basically like gasped when he had the tumor.
Yeah,
but then you could have this huge like
it was almost
swell. The swell was amazing. Like we didn't really we weren't like distraught that he died. We knew it was coming, so it was like this like celebration, but like for as long as it was. And
that's how I feel too. It's more like I'm obviously sad and sad for his family and stuff, but it's a weird kind of like form of optimism or something. It's really weird. I have this like, really weird feeling that ever since I think it's Tuesday, and it's strange. It's kind of like I feel like everything's gonna be all right. And I found there were so many good talks about like what he meant and stuff. But I was driving in the van today and I mean I love it because the Hips like playing on the radio like tons.
Yeah, they're playing them all weekend or something.
Yeah,
on,
it's great.
On local stations.
But he's become like one of his songs. Like one day, like
totally,
people are going to be writing about Gord Downie in their songs. Like he's going to be one of those Canadian folk tales that he sings about all the time. Like he became one of the stories, which is great. I think that's awesome, and I think that's and that's how I look at it. I'm like, oh, he became what he sang about all the time and what he wrote about. What a poet.
Yeah, I remember I misremembered the story. I was telling people at work when that I thought it was Bob Cajun, but I totally because I was looking at Bob Cajun, like I guess Bob Cajun Ontario had this vigil thing for him, but it was actually the other song. What's it called? I think I always forget the name, but it actually got really big. I remember it was kind of like just at the peak, like the end of like the Much Music days. Was it Poets? Don't tell me how.
Yeah.
It was like that was 99, 2000,
something like that. Yeah.
And I remember like just getting stuck on the Malahat with I think it was you and me, and we're just completely like just screaming the lyrics, and like we didn't give a shit about anybody around.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh no, I don't know.
It's funny because I don't love that song. It's weird, but maybe at the time it was fairly new.
Oh yeah, it was like the new hit.
Actually, I do remember liking it when it came out. It's definitely not my favorite hip song, that's for sure. But
no, but it's got that thump to it, like it's kind of like almost like a pop, like it was like a good pop song in a way. I don't
remember that moment though.
Weird.
Yeah, not at all.
I totally remember it. Maybe for some reason I remember Miles being there. Maybe it was just me and Miles.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would he know the song?
No, I remember Miles going like, "Oh, like what the fuck song is this?"
Oh,
I don't, or somebody was there. I think all three of us that was there. I guarantee. Anyway, I guess that story kind of fizzled, but no, pretty sad. But like, I loved that like Trudeau thing was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And I was just kind of like thinking about like and like kind of like it took away a little bit from the Gord Downie, and I'm just like, holy shit, am I glad that we have a human for like that leads our country. Like he's a human being. That was a human being reaction.
Yes, exactly.
Like, and it's like could you imagine like the other guy talking about like a national like did he talk about Tom Petty, like he, you know what I mean? And it's kind of interesting actually, Tom Petty and Gord Downie like the same week or so, or within the 2 weeks. I don't know, just because like Tom Petty, so I don't think of Tom Petty as like very Americana though. It's weird. Like I kind of like think he's kind of universal. He's not like a big like, do you know what I mean? What do you think? Do you think Tom Petty's like kind of the American version of Gord Downie? I don't think there's a version of Gord Downie in the States. Like, I think it's really hard for like Americans to like really like grasp the Gord Downie level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like he's almost I would say I would probably go out there to even say he's more Canadian than who the fuck am I trying to think of? Like Neil Young.
Yeah.
Like I would say they're both on the same like, what do you know?
Maybe. The one thing I love mainly about Gord Downie is that not only is he like incredible songwriter and poet, is like he's just like he's weird. And like he's someone that can be that weird and have that kind of success and be that admired. No scandals, no bullshit, but like really kind of a weird guy. But I love that. It makes you kind of go, oh, okay, that's like you can be yourself. You can be a weirdo. Totally. Like he's kind of like the hero for the weirdo.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like I love how Canada he's Canada's guy. So that does that kind of just make us weird? Well, I think it does, but I think that's a good thing.
Well, that's I mean, I don't know anyone, like no one would say like fuck Gord Downie. It's like someone could be like, oh, I'm not into the hip, but like Gord Downie's great. Like, you know what I mean? There's no there's no scandal and stuff, right? There's no just a good human being.
Totally.
It's sad day for Canada, sad week, but still got all his songs and his legacy.
Yeah, you'll last forever.
He'll last forever, that's for sure. Yeah.
Like there's not really like an end. There won't be like at least for a long time.
Yep.
You know.
All right. That's it. That's a good wrap.
Good wrap.
Rest in peace, Gord.
Yeah, and just on another note, our flick is going to be available on Amazon really quickly soon.
Are we planning on kind of like launching it about like mid-November on Amazon?
I think we're going to premiere at Cinefest in Nanaimo.
That's on the 17th of November?
That's on the 17th, and I think currently I have it set to launch on Amazon on the 18th. That's bearing any changes. We might pull it back a little bit. Just we'll talk off air, but currently that's at. And then hopefully start a new project soon. Bunch of projects. We got a bunch of ideas, and that's where it's gonna go. So I'm Jamie.
I'm Dan.
We're the Nimpods. And check out our website at FrancisBrothersFilms.com, or check us on Facebook. Pretty active on Facebook, Instagram. Have a good one.